So those were the headlines at this hour. I'm Hina Gambhir. Now, viewers, we have a very interesting story for you this afternoon. First, it was Australia making waves by banning social media for kids under 16 years of age. Now, India is also thinking of something similar to this in a move that is getting parents across the country nodding in approval. Well, the Modi government has rolled out the draft rules of the Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023. And guess what? If you are under 18, then forget about signing up for social media apps without the approval of your parents. You heard me right. In fact, the consent of your parents is the new login password of your social media accounts. And no more sneaky logins will be allowed without the approval of your mom and dad. But it doesn't stop there. In fact, viewers, the new rules also aim to protect the personal data of children. Apart from the mandatory parental control, they can also use digital locker to verify their identity for the creation of their child's social media account. Now, viewers, why is this move expected to get parental nod? Well, in a recent survey conducted by local circles, alarming trends regarding children's digital habits in India have come to light. Take a look at the key findings. In fact, now this is one of the reasons why most people in India believe that the draft rules that have been put out by the center are required, are the need of the hour, especially in a country like India. Because this particular survey that was carried out by local circles, it found that about 95% of teenagers in India today are on social media. It said that about 40% of kids in the age group of 8 to 12 currently are on social media, and kids in the age group of 9 to 17 spend about 3 hours online every single day. Then about 17% kids in Maharashtra spend about 6 hours online almost on a daily basis. Now, these are some alarming trends that, the survey has really found. It also mentioned that about 22% of parents are saying that their child has symptoms of depression. So too much online usage of various social media apps and other platforms is leading to depression. That's also one of the findings of this particular survey. And 37% list OTT platforms as their kids' favorite pastime. So instead of, spending time outside with their friends, they are spending more time on social media platforms, and that is becoming a cause of concern among parents in the entire country. Now, at a time, viewers, when the content on internet is under greater scrutiny, India is not the only country that is planning to place curbs on social media. Let's tell you a little bit about how the trend is in different parts of the world. Let's begin with Australia, because Australia last year, towards the end, made headlines with its new law. It has banned social media for children under the age group of 16 years. Then France has got like an interesting policy as well. Children under the age of 15 cannot create social media accounts without the parental consent. And something similar now India is also trying to do. As far as UAE is concerned, they criminalize users for criticizing the government on social media. So there is some kind of a curb that is involved here as well. Laws also include penalties, including imprisonment and deportation. WhatsApp, Skype and Apple's FaceTime, in fact, have been banned as well in the UAE. As far as Russia is concerned, several platforms have been banned by Kremlin in Russia for the users there. And at the same time, platforms functioning in Russia must store the data within the country. Data breach is another very, very important debate. And, the new draft rules that have come out, they also mention an important thing for the data breach. And I'll tell you about it in just a bit. But before that, let's talk about Turkey. The government there introduced legislation for stricter censorship of social media content. And at the same time, it has mandated localization of the user data storage. As far as China is concerned, in China, leading platforms such as Facebook, X, YouTube, Instagram, all have been blocked. Heavy penalties, including imprisonment for flouting the ban, also exist there. As far as North Korea is concerned, there's complete internet lockdown. now no access to any kind of website. Well, that's like going to another extreme. These are some of the examples of how other countries have really, in fact, implemented certain social media curbs, and now India is also trying to come up with some kind of parental control to reduce the access of social media platforms to children, specifically under the age group of 16. We have some political reactions as well coming in. Let's listen in.
To some extent there must be restriction, and youth today are spoiled, not only spoiled, but they have become lethargic, their contribution towards economy, development and their own growth is checkered by excessive use of social media. Something should be there. I can't say that it's a blanket, there should be a blanket control or curb on the use of social media, but certain restrictions are needed.
बहुत जरूरी हो गया है। केंद्र सरकार की ये भूमिका जो है ये जरूरी है। ये देखिए आजकल बच्चे छोटे भी उनको जिस तरह से सोशल मीडिया पर ये लोग आईडी बनाकर सोशल मीडिया का वापर कर रहे छोटे छोटे बच्चे, और उसका बहुत सारा दुरुपयोग भी चल रहा है, और ऐसे में वो गलत रास्ते पर भटकने के भी चांसेस है। एक तो माँ बाप ने ये सब करने से पहले 18 साल के पहले बच्चों के हाथ में स्मार्टफोन देना ही नहीं चाहिए।
Let's now go across to my colleague Pragya joining us on the phone line for more on this. Pragya, this was long awaited. Finally, the draft rules are here and the government has invited objections as well as suggestions to these rules by 18th of February. Can you just break down some of the important points that these rules mention?
Well, the first and foremost is that the data fiduciary has been asked to have an appropriate technical organizational structure measure, and they also have to seek verifiable consent from the parents, just in case the child is obviously is a minor. So they need, there are 4 scenarios in which the parents are on this particular platform. If not, how can they seek the consent? And if they are on the platform, how to seek the consent of the parents? So whether parents will allow their kids to be on that platform or not, this is one of the most important feature of this particular bill. Remember, this act was passed in 2023, but the centre invited, because it's a sensitive matter, the centre also invited many objections if there are any, and the centre also had set a deadline for February 18, 2025, which is supposed to be ending very soon. So for the public comments and feedback, everything has been collated. And this is what they have come out, that basically the consent of the parent before processing any personal data of a child is required, which is a very big move, because parental consent and also a watch over what the child is seeing is very important.
Right.
Remember, this has been raised by Sangh, by RSS, this has been raised by many parental bodies, this has been raised by many on various platforms as to what is being served on the social media platform is beyond control of anyone. There are no exact rules how to contain the element and also the content which is not appropriate for anyone which is a child. So to ensure that there is a parental watch over it and have a consent over it, this bill is very important and very significant. Obviously, it will also shape the future of the kids as well. The government at least believes.
Well, of course, many are, calling it a major reform as well, especially the consent manager framework, how it, is going to enable, once it is accepted and implemented, how it's going to enable the protection of data of children online. It has sparked a major debate as well online. And viewers, the numbers are flashing at the bottom of your screens. What do you think about the rules and this one specifically, that parental control is necessary for children under the age group of 18 to actually have a social media account and to access certain social media platforms? We want to listen to your views as well, and here is what we have right now, a reaction for you from Milind Deora. Let's listen.
So you have tweeted about the social media policy and you have applauded, Ashwini Vaishnav regarding the data policy, and you have said that the parental consent would be a game changer. Do you think that it will really help the entire system?
Look, I firmly believe, and I say this with great responsibility, because I have had the opportunity to be a minister of IT in the government of India. And there is a global worrying trend. Sugar is now the new tobacco. And I believe social media is also the new tobacco. And regulating social media, regulating big tech is very essential to prevent mental health illnesses amongst young people, to ensure that big tech is held accountable for manipulating algorithms that target young people, that keep them addicted to their mobile devices. This is a global phenomenon. It's not unique to India. In fact, the United States Surgeon General, which is like the Surgeon General is like the Health Minister of the United States, has himself many a times called for better regulation on social media. So I'm glad that the new DPDP rules of the Government of India to protect citizens' data. We are the largest data producing country. We're going to be the largest data producing country in the world. Every WhatsApp that people watch, every time people go on social media, they are generating data. How that data is used by big tech companies is very, very important. Ensuring that people are not made to be addicted to their mobile phones. That's important to regulate. So I think it's a very welcome step. I think that these draft rules will be put out in the public domain, should hear from experts, should hear from citizen groups. I certainly believe we should have stringent regulations against big tech companies, social media, and ensure that the algorithms which target young people are done away with and that companies are fined very severely.
So we are talking about data, we are talking about technology, but as we have known that in US, one Indian origin techie Sushil Balaji has died, and it is said that he has died with suicide. But however, the investigative journalist George Webb, he mentioned that this is a...
So that was the first reaction we got from Milind Deora, who said today social media is like tobacco, and it is important that the big tech is held accountable when it comes to personal data, the way it is stored and the way it is shared, and it is important to it is important to have stringent rules in this particular space. We'll see